party people. Hi, cousins. Okay, so I decided that I'm going to do the story time about my physical altercation with my stepmom and her daughter. I just decided that I'm going to do it in chronological order based upon when the events happened, how they happened in my life, and then I will bring you guys to the more current situation, which was the relationship with my daughter's father and him being in jail and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I just wanted to start off like that. I did see that the most current thing, which was the girl's dad and knowing about that situation, ranked the highest, but I want to just go in order so that you guys can be brought up to speed on like who I am and why I do the things that I do, honestly, and kind of the things that have happened to me in my past that have molded me. So you guys are already understanding the situation that happened with my dad, you know, in my senior year of high school. But this altercation between my stepmother and her daughter and myself, this happened before I had graduated from high school. I was 15 at the time. She was about 35 and her daughter was 14. She was a year younger than me. So if we just back up a little bit, my dad got married to her. I don't remember when he got married to her, but they both came into the relationship with their own kids. She had 2 children from a previous relationship. My dad had 3 children from a previous relationship. And they got married and they ended up having twins. I never really felt like she accepted his kids from his other relationship. But my dad is the type of person, he's very loving. He's very welcoming. He doesn't really judge. Like he has such a big heart, so he never treated her kids like anything but his children. And he's been in their lives since they were young, since they were little kids. I believe my oldest brother, he is 2 years older than me, so my dad was in his life from like a little kid. I don't remember the age, so I don't want to misquote it, but yeah, that's kind of the only dad that he knew. And for the longest, I mean, for forever until he passed, that was his dad. And he referenced him as dad. That's the only dad he knows. You know, his other dad wasn't in his life. And my dad was the only one that was present and that was providing. And that's the person that he confided in and the person that he looked up to. And he would go to work with him. That was his dad. So my dad had always taken in her kids as though they were his. He's never once reference them as anything other than that. Like anytime he talks about his children, he says he has however many kids, including the 2 that were not biologically his. Like he definitely was their dad in his heart and his mind, even up until the day that my older brother passed away. That was his son. Like, and there's nothing anybody could tell him otherwise. So they got married, and my dad again took on, you know, the brunt. He took on the responsibility of those 2. Her, on the other hand, she never really welcomed us. She never really accepted us. It was really nasty, you know, the way that she would treat us. Growing up, we would get in trouble for little things. We had to always beg, you know, for food. We had to always she would leave us at home by ourselves sometimes, and she would like, and you better not go in my kitchen, you better not go in my pantry. If I catch you in it, then you're gonna get in trouble. It would be times where she had made food for us, and I was a picky eater. You know, I have a daughter that's a picky eater now, and she would sit and try to make me eat the food, and I wouldn't want the food, so I would, you know, I would just fall asleep at the table sometimes. Sometimes I tried to do the little tricks, like putting it in my mouth and going to the bathroom and trying to flush it down the toilet. One time I got caught and she beat the brakes off of me because of it. And, you know, I was really picky, and I didn't want to eat the food. And she would sit, like, we would legit have to sit there until we fell asleep at the table. And we couldn't move, and she would try to force us to eat the food, and I just wouldn't eat the food. It was a time, I'm allergic to peanut butter and peanuts of any sort. And I know you can grow out of allergies, but I don't know if I've grown out of it. I'm not even willing to try it. But she made some fried rice one time, and I think I could smell the smell of peanuts. Like, it was so strong, and I didn't want to eat it. And I'm just like, she puts it in front of me, and she's just like, I made everybody else's and it has peanuts in it, but yours doesn't. I know you're allergic to peanuts. Why would I make you something that has peanuts in it? But I just wouldn't eat it. It smelled so strong, and because I have an allergy to peanuts, I know what I'm smelling. Like, it was in the kitchen, it was just in the entire area. So I legit didn't eat. So if I didn't want to eat the food, I just didn't eat. And eventually she would just get tired of me sitting at the table. So she'll like, get your ass away from me, get the fuck out my face. And she'll take my food and throw it away, and I just didn't eat for the night. Like, she doesn't care that I didn't want that food. She's not going to feed me anything. It's like, you don't eat this, you don't eat it all, so get out my face. So it would be times I just didn't eat because I just didn't want the food, and she wouldn't, you know, she wouldn't fix me anything that I would eat. It's like, I don't know, it was always disgusting. And it was always like that. And then we would get in trouble. One time she had left us at the house. We're kids at the time. Nobody's of age to watch anybody, but my sister is the oldest. I think she's like 8 or 10. And all the rest of us are little. She tells us not to go in the pantry. She has to run some errands, and that she'll be back, and to don't answer the door and don't touch the phone. So we're like, all right, whatever. She leaves me and my stepsister. She goes in the pantry, and we get these club crackers, and we are just eating the club crackers. We run up to the loft area and we're like eating them, but we're doing kid stuff. We're not even realizing that we're leaving a mess everywhere. So she came home. It was unexpected, so we tried to hurry up and clean up all the club crackers and stuff. We left crumbs everywhere. I think we left a little bit of the wrapper. So when she gets in the house, she goes to search the areas to see if we had been in her pantry. So she's like, have y'all been in our pantry? We're like, like we're thinking we're in the coast is clear, but it's not. She comes and she tells me and my stepsister to come upstairs. So we come upstairs. She was like, did y'all eat anything out of the pantry? And we're like, no. And she's like, so you're gonna sit here and lie to me? So what's this? So she finds like some remnants of the club crackers. So she was like, go over there and put your hands inside the baseboard. So we have to go and stick our hands inside of the baseboard of the bed. And then she takes the belt, she flips it around, holds the loop part, and whoops us with the buckle part. Like hits us a few times with the buckle part, then turns around and hits us with the loop part. Like she beats the shit out of us. And I got whelps all over my back and everything, you know. And then we have to go back downstairs, and we're crying, we're upset. And it proceeded on. She was always abusive. You know, anytime she could pick up something inanimate and hit us with it, she was doing it. I vividly remember a time where she hit my brother. She was beating him with a pair of scissors, not the handle, but the actual blade. Like she was holding it and she was beating him with the pair of scissors and stuff. So it was like I don't know what her problem was, like mentally. Like she just has problems. So she fast forward, you know, all of these things replayed in my head, and it would replay in my head the older that I got. And it was like my dad, we would say stuff to him, but he just wasn't really processing it, you know, and he wasn't really listening. It's like, we're complaining to you that she's hitting us. We're complaining to you that she's forcing us to eat. We're complaining to you about all of these things. And it's like, nothing's happening. You still just pick up and you go to work. You pick up and you go to work. So he just wasn't doing anything about it. So as I got older, you know, those things are always going to be in the back of my brain. Like those are things that I always kept, you know, deep down, and I suppressed the feelings, but it's never something that went away. It's like the feelings were just suppressed. They never went away. So my hate towards her just was brewing, you know. It was brewing on the inside, and it was nothing that I could do about it, because it was like she wasn't changing. So I remember one time we were going to visit my dad, and I was so happy about going. I was super happy. My mom let me pack my suitcase. So I pack all this stuff in my suitcase. I forget to pack underwear. And when we get there, you know, we settle in. We have played all day. It's time to take a bath. I go in my bag and I don't have no underwear. So it's like, I don't have any underwear. So I go tell my dad, like, hey daddy, I don't have any underwear. And he's like, all right, cool. I have to go get you some. I have to go get you some. So when my dad leaves, this bitch has a real sneaky, conniving way about her. She took it upon herself to pick up the phone and call my mom. And she's like, basically, in a nutshell, what type of woman sends her kid all the way across the country with no underwear? What type of mother are you to have not checked your kid's bag, you know, to not check your kid's bag and check and make sure she has all the necessities before she before she comes all the way across the country? Like, what type of mother are you to have the blah, 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 like going off about my mother's parenting, basically, because I didn't have any underwear. So my mom, you know, she put my mom on speakerphone thinking she was going to embarrass her because she thinks she hot shit. But you don't even realize the type of person that you're dealing with. Like, okay, my mom is like, I just hear my mom say, listen, let me tell you something. if you ever in your motherfucking life call me about my fucking child when I sent her with her motherfucking daddy, don't you ever in your life call me about no shit like that. Don't you fucking ever pick up the phone unless it's a motherfucking emergency, bitch. Don't blah, blah, blah. Like, my mom is going in. So the lady, she takes her off speakerphone and she finishes the conversation. They hang up the phone. I know my mom read her the fucking filth. Don't ever call my fucking phone about that shit when I sent her out there with her. And my mom from New York, but born and raised in Trinidad, you know, so she a lot of her roots are still New York. So she was like, don't you ever call me when she's with her motherfucking father. Like, mom was mad. So she was like, don't ever do that or whatever. Like, that's not your fucking place. Don't do that. So they had their little words, and nonetheless, she got off the phone and I took a bath. My dad brought panties and I had panties for the rest of the trip. So time goes on, years go by, my dad's still with this lady. And we would go back home with my mom, and the feelings would be gone, you know, because we don't have to deal with her. But, you know, summertime will roll around and it's coming upon that summertime where we're going to have to go visit my dad again. It's like, well, you know, y'all going to see y'all dad for the summer. So it's like, all right. So I have to wrap my brain around it. Like, okay, we're about to have to go deal with this lady again. Rolls eyes, like, all right. And then me and my stepbrother were fighting a lot. You know, we were just kids, you know. So I would find myself going there and coming back quick. Like, I would go there and my brother and my sister would stay, but I would leave. Like, I would go there for like a week or two and I'd be like, yeah, daddy, I can't do it. I'm ready to go. I'll call my mom. She'll get me on the first thing smoking back. And that's one thing that I always love about my mom. If I'm ready to go, if it's a situation that I'm uncomfortable in and I don't want to be there, my mom is going to get me the hell up out of there. I'm talking about quick. She ain't going to ask me any questions. It's going to be like, all right, let me handle some stuff and I'm going to get my baby back home, because she don't play that. Like, you're not finna be in no situation where you're uncomfortable and my mom is gonna just let it ride and sweep it under the rug. No, my baby wants to come home, so I'm gonna get my child. She's coming home. Like, come on. So that's what I did. I was just like, yeah, I can't do it. I don't want to stay here. I'm getting into it with this lady. I can already feel that she's about to start getting in her ways, and I don't like it. You know, she treated my sister better than me. She treated my brother better than me. She just treated me different because I was the one that was sassy. I was the one that talked back. I was the one, I'm the one that got color eyes, and it's like, yeah, she's gonna be a problem. Like, so I'm gonna check her because she don't run nothing, like all that type of stuff, you know. And that's from a child. Like, girl, whatever. I'm the one that don't want to eat the food. I'm the one, you know, I'm just the problem, clearly. So she's always had like this weird beef with me, and it was just like, yeah, I don't want to stay. So I would go and then I would just leave. I'm like, yeah, mama, I'm ready to come back home, you know. So she would send for me, and I would go back home, like, no sweat off my back. I'm back home. I would feel bad, you know, and it was a time that I cried and I was like on the plane trying to decide what I wanted to do, because I really didn't want to leave my dad. Like, I wanted to stay with my dad. I love my daddy, but it's like, I'm not gonna stay here with this lady. Like, she is crazy and she is abusive, and it's like, you're doing nothing about it. And she only like literally has it out for me. I feel like she treats my brother and my sister differently from me. It was just weird. So I was like, no, I'm gonna just go home with my mom where I know I'm loved and whatever, you know. And back at home with my mom growing up, I did have a little issues with my stepdad, but it was nothing like her. It was like me just being rebellious and not understanding structure, and him just trying to structure me. I know that now, but as a child, yeah, that probably is not the way that I would have described it. But now as an adult, I understand why certain rules were put in place, and I understand why he was the way that he was. So I used to, as a child, always say like, oh, why can't my dad and my mom just be together, and then my stepdad and my stepmom just be together, because they're both mean, and both of my mom and my dad, they're not mean, so they need to be together. Like, that was the kid in me. But it's like, my stepdad was giving me structure. He was setting me up to be the person that I am today. And so a lot of the reasons why I am the way that I am, and, you know, blended with all the rest of the personalities that I have deep rooted in me. So I would leave and I would be okay with it, you know, and I would just be back at home with my mom, and my brother and sister would stay, and they'll be living it up in Cali. But it's like, yeah, that's not for me. I'm just gonna go home with my mom, because no. So fast forward, my brother moves back out to California with my dad, because him and my stepdad, my brother's being a rebellious child as well, and I think he is probably like 13 at the time. I'm 15. So he moves back with my dad because him and my stepdad just ain't getting along. So he's living with my dad for a while. He doesn't have a phone. You know, he calls. My mom speaks to him ever so often. You know, when she's calling my dad, she'll call and check on him. And then my brother will talk to her for a little while and stuff. But we knew he was okay. He was with daddy. So summertime rolls around. It's time for me to go out there for the summertime. Now, disclaimer, y'all, I'm a different child at this point. Like, I'm no longer that little girl that you're gonna force to eat food. You know, I'm not the little girl that you're gonna walk up on and I'm not really gonna react. Like, that's just not who I am. I'm not the same kid anymore. Like, I'm older. I've been in plenty of fights between, you know, middle school and high school, first year of high school or something. Like, shortly before I come on this trip, I get into a whole fist fight with my sister's best friend's sister, like a whole brawl inside of their house. Like, I'm just not the same kid no more. Like, I'm legit, I'm a problem, you know, like, don't play with me. I'm not taking no shit. Y'all been playing with me too long. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, this is the same person that has beat me as a child. You know, she has punched me in the temple before. So I have all of these feelings that I have suppressed for so long. And it's like, I'm gonna go there. I'm not gonna start nothing, but I promise I'll finish it if something comes up, because I'm not that same child no more. Like, don't play with me. So I go on the trip, you know, and mind you, like I said, I just got into a fight like 2 days prior to me hopping on this plane. Like, I was just in a fist fight. Now I like, whatever, deuces, I did what I needed to do with you, bitch. Like, next, I'm finna get on the plane. So I get on the plane. And my mom is like, please, like, Jesus Christ, girl, you was just stressing me out. Because my mom swerved up on that fight too. Like, what's up? Because we don't play that or whatever. And that's my sister, best friend, whatever. It was whatever. So it's a breath of fresh air that I'm leaving and going with my dad. But my mom know that I can handle my own. Like, she knows her child. So I get to Cali, and I immediately, like, my brother lived there, so I'm like, I'm cool with going. Like, and I get along with my stepbrother ever so often, and my stepsister, she cool, like, it's whatever. And then I got my little sisters, my twin sisters, that at the time they were like 4. So I'm just like, I'm gonna enjoy my summertime. You know, I'm not the same kid no more. She's not intimidating to me. I'm not intimidated by her. You know, I know that I need to clean up behind myself. I know that I need to, you know, be responsible. I'm a little older now. I'm not the same kid no more. And I'm really not with none of that. Like, you're not finna whoop me. So you can can that idea. You're not gonna make me eat no food. You can can that idea. Like, it does not happen at the house that I live at back in Atlanta. So it's not happening here. You can just can all that shit. So I hope she don't try me, and then we'll be straight. If she don't try me, I won't try her, and we'll be straight. That's how I am. I'm 15 though, but I had that mentality. I was already in shit back in Atlanta. It's like, girl, please go to Cali with your daddy. Like, you are tripping. So I get to Cali and I already got that in me. It's like, it's in me, but I done suppressed it, because I'm like, all right, I ain't finna go here starting nothing. But in the back of my mind, I'm remembering all the things that she put me through from a child, you know. And I know this lady don't like me, you know, and like, I just know it. So it's like, whatever. I ain't scared of her though. Like, she the same size as me. We the same height. She a little thicker than me, but that don't mean nothing. I fight bitches thick. That's light work. Like, I'm not even studying that. Like, I don't even care. So I get there, hop off the plane, and my dad takes me to the house. My brother is living there at the time too, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see him. You know, I give him a hug and stuff, and we get to the house. I'm about to get settled in. As soon as I walk in, the first day is always sweet with her. Like, she be like, hey, she give you a hug. It's all warm and welcoming. But then the more that you in her presence, the more she just gets annoyed with you. It's like, it's weird. So she give me a little hug or whatever. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, and I'm a different kid, y'all. And I think she can sense it from the time I walk in the door. So I give her a hug, and I proceed about my day. I play with my little sisters. You know, I get settled into my stepsister's room. They tell me that I'm sharing a room with her. We got to share a bed. So I kind of like unpack all my stuff, because I'm here for the summer. It's 2 months. So I'm like getting comfy. I line all my shoes up under the bed. Like, I'm chilling. She's cooking food. I'm a little more hands-on because I'm more independent back at the house with my mom. I cook, you know, I be cleaning. So I'm doing all of that. So my brother, I would go to work with my dad. My dad was building houses at the time. He builds houses for celebrities. So he was building houses at the time, and we would go, and at the time he was building a studio for some somebody. And we was at the studio, and my brother was just telling me like a lot of his experiences. And mind you, he didn't have a phone, so he couldn't just pick up the phone and call my mom and express anything to her. He was like, man, you know, like, hey man, this shit really been crazy, because she really be beating a nigga. Like, one time, man, I walked this girl home from school, and she had done beat me over the head with a can opener and made me bleed, you know what I'm saying, made my head bleed. I'm like, what? Then he was like, yeah, you know, then one time daddy had an ear infection, he had to leave. She gonna come in the room, wake me up, and make me sit outside. I'm like, outside? He's like, yeah, outside. She told me to get out. Like, as soon as daddy had left, she had went in the room, woke him up, and told him to get out. She was like, yeah, get out my house. So he was like, what? So he goes outside. So my brother James, he leaves, and he goes outside with my little brother, and he like, I'm sitting with him. So she come outside, and she tell James to go back in the house and get in the bed, and she tell my brother to go in the garage. And my brother go in the garage, and he go to sleep for what seems like a few hours, until right before my daddy stated he on the way back from the hospital. So this is like little stuff that she would do, you know. Then when he was telling me about times when he would get in trouble, and he was like, man, she got a mean two-piece, you know. Whole time I'm in my head like, I wish this bitch would, you know what I'm saying? I wish she would try to put her hands on you while I'm here. I wish she would. Like, girl, you don't want these problems for real. I'm not the same kid. Like, in my head whole time while he's telling me all these stories, I'm getting furious, because it's like, what is wrong with this bitch? Like, she hit you over the head with a can opener. Like, why you didn't tell mommy? He was like, daddy got upset with her when he saw blood, you know, and I think he said something to her, like they was in the room arguing. And so I do think he said something, you know, but I don't know to what extent he said anything to her. It's just like, what the why would you hit him over the head with a can opener because he walking a girl home? Like, what is your deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, she act like she was a fucking bear in that house. Like, she was intimidating when her daughter would walk up to her and be like, hey, do you want me to take out the trash? She was like, do it look like I can fucking see the trash? Can I fucking see the trash? And her daughter would be like, no, mommy, I'm sorry. Like, real docile, real sweet, like real punkish. Like, I'm not with that. Like, I ain't finna, nah, my mama don't talk to me like that. I don't talk to my mom like that. My stepdad don't handle me that way. I don't do that shit where I come from. So I'm here for vacation, but I'm not doing it here just because I'm here in your turf. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna like, don't play with me, 15 or not. I'm not with that. So and mind you, I'm not coming here to be disrespectful to her, nah, but my brother is feeding me all this information about things that has happened to him, and I believe him 100% because I know the type of person that we dealing with. I know she don't like us for real. I know she's tolerating us for my dad, but I know she don't like us for real, and she shows us in every little sneaky way that she can that she don't really like us. So it's like, all right, okay. So I'm docking everything in my head that he's telling me while we out at work, and I'm looking at my daddy. I'm like, daddy, you was around when this happened? Like, what's up with you? Like, what are you doing? He was like, man, I had a conversation with her already, man. Like, she ain't gonna ever do that again. I already talked to her before. But it's like, you didn't have no conversation with her to the point where she ain't gonna ever do that again. Like, stop it. You need to cut it out. Because this lady has been doing it for years. Like, she's been doing it since we was kids. And there is nothing that has changed. The only thing that changed was everybody age. We all older. But she's doing the same stuff. I'm like, daddy, I'm going to just let you know now, I'm not the same kid anymore. And I would, like, it would be in her best interest not to do that to me. Because I don't play that. My mama don't be beating on me. My stepdad don't be beating on me. There's no way I'm finna let anybody do that. And she's not doing it to my brother while I'm here. So I will hope that she keep her cool. Because as long as she's cool, I'm cool. He's like, man, Tay, man, listen, that's nonsense. It's none of that's happening. That's just nonsense. My dad is so like, he ain't confrontational at all. He's not dealing with it. So it's like, all right, whatever. He kind of sweeping under the rug as I expected because he's been doing it for years. So fast forward, I had started my cycle. Like, I think I had been on my cycle since I was 11, but I never wore tampons. I would always wear pads. And I don't like the way pads feel on my butt. After a certain amount of time, it feels like a wet diaper, and I always take them off. I wrap them in tissue and I put it in the trash. So this particular day, I had been doing it for a week. I was on my cycle. Mind you, it's the twins, me, the daughter, my brother James, and my brother Dale. We're all in this house. This is 6 kids sharing one bathroom. So I'm on my cycle though, so whatever. I'm wrapping up the pads and tissue and I'm putting it in the trash, wrapping up pads and tissue, putting it in the trash. Every time I feel the need to take it off, I'm taking it off. So the next day, James comes and he's like, Tay, guess what? So I'm like, what? He was like, so last night I heard Patty and my mom talking, and they were saying that that you had used up all the tissue because you on your period. And he like laughing. So I'm like, what you mean I use up all the tissue because I'm on my period? What does that mean? He was like, well, Patty say when mama asked who had used up all the tissue, she said it was you. You had used up all the tissue because you on your period. I said, now James, what sense does that make? Like, does that make sense to you? It's 6 of us using this one bathroom. How did I use up all the tissue? And he was like, I mean, I was saying the same thing, but mom started going off talking about, yeah, well, she gonna need to call her fucking mom and get her to buy some more tissue, using up all my fucking tissue like she buy tissue around here. So I was like, wow, she really went there? Okay, so it's starting at this point. But the only difference is, like I said, I'm not the same kid. So I was like, why the fuck would she even tell her that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would she even tell her that I use up all the tissue? Like, what type of scary shit is that? I said, I would really slap her in her fucking face. Like, don't, like, that's stupid. Like, I would for real deal slap her. Talking about the daughter. So my little sisters at the time, they're sitting in front of me eating cereal. They're sponges. Like, they are sponges. They're they're way too advanced for their age, you know, because I have 5-year-old kids, and my kids probably will repeat that, but not at 4. I just don't know. But when I said that I would slap their sister, they had repeated it to their mom. So me, my brother, my dad, me, my 2 brothers, and my dad, we leave and we go, we're about to get ready to go to LA, back to the studio where he was already working. But my brother and my stepsister, they were coming back from summer school, so we had to wait on them to come back before we could leave. So when they came in the house, she looks at me. Now, mind you, she knew she had told her mom the day before, and she just didn't know it was going to get back to me. She didn't know my stepbrother was going to tell me. So we had, I was sitting at the table, and after I had said what I said, I kind of had like a little stink look on my face. So when she came in the house, I was just like, so she ain't speak to me. So I'm just like, yeah, let's keep that energy, because I don't know what you on. Like, why you even tell her something like that? But that's stupid. Like, just keep that energy. So somehow him and his sister get into an argument, and I hear her upstairs screaming. She's like, get off of me. Get away from me, stupid. She's crying. She's screaming or whatever. And I go up there like, what's wrong? And then he was like, I told her she was stupid for telling mama that, like, you dumb, like he making jokes or whatever. And she was like, get the fuck off of me. I'm like, yeah, she is stupid. Like, you fucking stupid. Like, yeah, you're dumb. You're dumb. So I'm like egging it on, like, yeah, you're dumb, whatever. Anyways, let's go. We're about to leave with my dad. So we leave with my dad, and we get down to LA. Now, LA is probably like 40 minutes from where we live. As soon as we get down there, she is calling on the phone. My stepmom, she's like, what did y'all do to my child? What did y'all do to my child? Like, what is she crying for? Where is James? What did he do? What did he say to her? What happened? And then my dad's like, I don't know what happened. They just got into a little argument. I don't know what happened. She was like, and did your daughter say she was gonna slap my child? Did she say she was gonna slap my child? And my dad was like, listen, man, that's nonsense. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I don't know what was said. So she's like, turn around, bring my son back, talking about James. So he was like, man, we're already in LA. We'll be back up there when we can. She was like, no, turn around and bring my son back. And I'm gonna handle your child. So I hear my daddy say, you ain't gonna handle shit. That's my child. I got her. Like I said, I'm gonna correct her. So I said, who's she gonna handle? Like, now at this point, she can hear me. So I'm like, who's she gonna handle? Daddy, come on, let's turn around. Let's go back. Let's just go back up there. And see what's going on. So he was like, no, man, calm down. Listen, he called me Tavy. He's like, Tavy, honestly, be quiet. Just hush. I'm like, nah, she's talking about she gonna handle me. Like, handle me for what? We can go back and we can solve it, because the situation is really small, but we can go back and we can talk about it. He was like, okay, we'll get back up there later. So we get all the way to Home Depot, my daddy doing shopping, him and the lady going back and forth on the phone. They arguing about their relationship. They arguing about all kind of stuff that I don't even care about at this point. Me and my brothers, we acting like this ain't even happening, like whatever. So my daddy finally comes back. He's like, man, she's telling me that she about to leave and she want me to bring James back. So whatever, we got to go back to the house. Now James is rolling his eyes, because James does not like her. Like, he is not a fan of her. Excuse me. If he could choose, he would choose to be with my dad 100%. Like, even though that's not his biological dad, that's the only dad that he loved. And well, he probably loved his real dad, but that's the dad that he genuinely cherished. That's the one that has raised him. So that's the dad that he knows. And if he was to be able to pick between the two, he would have chose to live with my dad. He would have never chose to live anywhere remotely near his mom. It's just the way that she has been, and it sucks to suck, but it's like, it's what she has caused with her behavior. You know, they don't feel loved. They don't feel wanted, respected. Like, you don't treat people like that. And because my daddy doesn't treat him like that, he would rather be with the person that actually treats him like he loves him. So she's like, bring my son back, bring my son back. So my dad is just he's gonna oblige. He's gonna take him back because it's like, yeah, it is your son, I guess, and she want to pull that card. So on the way back up, he's like, listen, Tay, do not say nothing. If she starts speaking to you, don't respond to her. If she is doing something, I forgot what he was saying, but he was basically saying, like, don't respond to her, don't feed into her bull, don't let her make you say anything, all types of stuff. Like, just basically telling me to be quiet in a nutshell. Like, just shut up, let her talk, let her say what she wants to say. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not listening, because what? Like, do you know, like, what? Anyways, so we get to the house. We walk through the garage, and we kind of bend the corner. And as soon as we bend the corner, I hear her say, go upstairs and get your stuff. She's talking to my stepbrother. So he goes upstairs and gets stuff. When she comes around the corner, my brother is in front of me. So he goes up the first set of steps, and then he kind of stands there. He was about to go up the other half, but he heard me and her start exchanging words. So I see tears, like dried up tears on her face. I'm like, this punk asshole. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, you're a punk. Anyways, what you crying for? But whatever. So she comes down the steps, and she was like, after she says, go get your stuff together and come on, she looks at me. She was like, did you say you was gonna slap my child? I say, yeah. She was like, no, you won't. I say, yes, I will. She was like, no, you won't. I'm like, yes, I will. No, you won't. Yes, I will. And I'll slap whoever the fuck got a problem with it. And I was straight face. And my daddy was like, Tavy, are you go stand over there. Like, go stand over there. Because, like I said, I'm a different child. No, I shouldn't have been cursing at 15 years old, but I'm a different child. Like, do not press me. Like, what's up with you? Don't walk up on me. Don't press me about nothing I said, because I said what I said and I meant it. And if you got a problem with it, like I said, I'll slap you too. Like, I don't care. Like, this is the type of child that I am at 15. Like, do not play with me. Whatever. You're not going to punk me. You're not, like, I'm at this point, the wheels is spinning about all the abuse she's given to my brother, all the abuse she's done to me in the past. It's just like I'm furious at this point. Like, I was waiting. It was like I was waiting for the one time when, now that I'm old enough to be able to fight you back, I can defend myself. So she was like, no, you won't. Yes, you would. No, you won't. And I'm like, yeah, and I'll slap whoever else got a problem with it. So she was like, yeah, I'll get a 15-year-old for you. So my daddy pushes me around the island. We have this massive island in the middle of the kitchen. So he pushes me around the island, and I'm just like standing there, and she's just going off. She's like, oh, excuse me. She's like, you're just mad because your mom doesn't love you enough to put a man in your life that loves y'all the way that your dad loves my children. You guys are jealous. You're rotten kids. Nobody ever wants you around. Every time we go around places, people always turn their nose up. They don't want y'all around. They can't stand seeing y'all coming. You're just upset. Your mom doesn't love y'all enough to make sure that it's a man in her life that loves her kids the way that your dad loves my kids. She just going on and on about my mom, about my upbringing back at home with my mom, and how my mom don't care about us enough, and how we're jealous because my daddy loves her kids unconditionally more than he loves us. And we're jealous because my mom ain't never, she don't love us enough to choose a man that loves us the way that my dad loves kids that aren't his, which are her kids. And it's like, you're just talking a whole bunch of shit. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? You just running your fucking mouth. Shut up. Shut up. Like, what are you talking about? So I let her talk as long as I could. And I finally was just like, shut up. Like, what are you, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, you're talking and you're not making no sense. Like, you're not making any sense. So she starts advancing towards me. So I'm advancing towards her too, because baby, where I come from, you walk up on me, you're not hitting me first. You just walk up on me. Just know that I'm going to swing on your ass the second you get close enough for me to hit you. I'm going to swing on you. So what's up? So she's walking up on me, like walking around the island. So I'm walking in the direction she's coming, like we finna meet up. My daddy grabs me, puts my hands by my side. Now they balled up already. He puts my hands by my side. He walks me back around, like backing me up, and she's kind of like making her way behind him. And he kind of like pushes me into the chair. So she's like, she was like, oh, what nigga, you on her side? You on her side, nigga? You on her fucking side? Like, how dare you? How dare you? I'm gonna get a 15-year-old to beat her the fuck up. I'm gonna get a 15-year-old to beat her ass, nigga. And if you want problems, I'll get somebody to beat your ass too, talking to my daddy. Like, how dare you? You on her fucking side? Because my dad was telling me to be quiet. Like, the whole time while I'm trying to talk, he was telling me to be quiet. I told you don't say nothing. I told you don't say nothing. She was like, oh, so you on her side? You on her fucking side, nigga? Fuck you. You on her side? You on her side? Like, her side? I'm his child. I'm his daughter. It's not changing. Bitches come and go. His daughter, that's not changing. Like, it's not changing. I'm his child. So yes, he's on my side. What other side? What are you thinking? Like, are you drunk? Are you high? You stupid? You slow? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, of course he's on my side. So he's telling me to be quiet. So I sit down in the chair. My brother's sitting next to me. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get somebody to beat y'all up because y'all got me fucked up. So she go upstairs, she grabbed the phone, she comes back down. My dad goes into the garage, he grabs his sneakers and then he grabs his gun, he puts it on top of the fridge because like this hoe off, she's throw it off. So he started lacing up his shoes. And while he's down, my daddy got a bald head. So while he's down lacing up his shoes, she comes back with the phone and she's talking junk. And I'm sitting in the chair, and my brother's sitting next to me, basically standing guard, making sure I don't run up on her. So me and him started laughing. She was like, what y'all laughing at? I said, we ain't saying nothing about you. It ain't nothing about you. So we was just laughing. I don't even know what we was laughing at, but we did laugh, and she addressed it. Like, girl, we ain't even talking about you. Please calm down, mind your business. So she walks up to my dad and she was like, oh, so you on her side, huh? You on her side. And she like slaps him in the back of the head. She like, so what you gonna do, nigga? Do something. And she like reaches up under him and kind of like smacks him in the forehead and then slaps him on the back of the head again and slaps him under the forehead. Like she's slapping the side of his head and slapping the other side of his head. Like I'm talking about really slapping my daddy. So I'm just like, this bitch is tripping. So my brother, my stepbrother, he comes and he's like, my daddy's like, James, get your mama. So James comes, and James is a big boy. Like he ain't no little chicken, okay? He's a big boy. So he comes and he kind of grabs her up like by one of her arms and he's trying to take her out the door. So she yanks it away from him. And he was like, he like bear hugs her and picks her up because he played football, and he like carried her to the door like, girl, come on now. Like you're tripping to think that you're stronger than me. I can get you out of here. So he takes her out the door, and on the way out, she throws the phone back in the house, and she was like, and I'm gonna get a 15-year-old to beat you the fuck up, bitch. Fuck you. And she leaves out the door. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go look out the window. She on the phone with somebody. They leaving out the driveway or whatever. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. So whole time I'm thinking she going to pick up whoever she going to pick up. Like my twin sisters are not in the house, and my stepsister is not in the house. The one who I said I was gonna slap. It was just her. She was like by herself, pressing me and telling her son to come on so they can leave. So I'm thinking they all just gonna leave and go somewhere else and decompress, and we'll figure it out later. But clearly it has gotten to such a place in the house where it's like there ain't really no kumbaya here. Like there's no way we all finna sit down and coexist. Like no, stay over there and we'll stay over here, because it has gotten to that point. Because baby, I'm not backing down. Like you have already gotten me there. So it's like there's no backpedaling. I'm not backpedaling with nothing I do. Like I'm already there. I was already there when my brother told me you hit him over the head with a can opener. I was already there when he told me you got a mean two-piece, because I just want to see what it's hitting on. Like for real, I'm just trying to see what your two-piece talking about. And I was already there when you told me that I needed to tell my mom to buy tissue for a bathroom. There's 6 of us. You was like, how dare you even entertain that thought? How dare you as a mother entertain that thought about any tissue being gone in a bathroom where it's 6 kids in the bathroom? You don't know who's using up the tissue, but you know that it's 6 kids in one bathroom, the tissue is going to be used. Like, what are you like? How dare you even entertain that? And then how dare you little idiot little girl, even say that I'm the reason for the tissue to be gone because I'm on my period. But whatever, you was scared, whatever. You was scared of her at the time. So you wanted it out and you wanted the heat to be away from you. So you put it on me. But okay, fair game, that's fine. Whatever. So fast forward, I'm outside playing with the dogs and stuff after they leave, and I'm thinking nothing of it. You know, hours go by. I'm thinking she, at most top, she's gonna be back in like 2 hours. So I run upstairs, change my clothes. I put on like a tank top and some like some capris. At the time, capris was popping. I put on some capris and I put on some J's. I had laced them things up, some black and yellow ones. I had laced them up, and I went outside. I was playing with the dog. I was ready, because it's like, if you come back, then I hope you bring whoever you said you was bringing with you, because I'm going to dog her in the front yard. Like, just open the door and let me at her. Like, whatever. We about to see who got hands, because I know I'm not playing. So, all right, whatever. You think you dealing with the same child that you was dealing with back in the day, but it's not the same child, girl. I'm talking about, I've been going blow for blow with girls, and I just got up fresh up off a fight before I even hopped on the plane. So, all right, come on, let's see who gonna do what, because you're not dealing with no little kid no more. I'm not the same kid no more. So she hours go by. I'm talking about, this stuff happened early in the daytime, like 2-3 o'clock. So I'm thinking she ain't coming back no more. Like, after the night had fell, my daddy got comfy. He laid on the couch. He had put the pistol underneath his pillow though, and he laid on the couch. He was watching TV. I was on the phone. It was like probably 9 o'clock LA time, but it was like late back over here. So I was just on the phone, and I was texting, and I was just doing stuff, and I'm like rocking in a chair. It's a reclining chair. So I'm rocking, and I hear the door open. And when the door opens, I'm just kind of like rocking back and forth. And my brother was upstairs at the time playing the game the whole time, like for hours. He was enjoying the peace and quiet. He was playing the game. My other brother wasn't there to bug him. He was having his free time in the room. So I'm rocking on the phone, and then I see my brother sitting in front of me. So I'm just like, that's weird. He was just upstairs playing the game, but whatever. I ain't stunned. I'm still kind of on the phone, not really paying no attention, still rocking back and forth. And now I look to the side, and I see my stepbrother sitting on the chair. So I know for a fact they're back, because he's back. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Anyways, not even worried about it. So I kind of like rock back and forth, and then I hear somebody in the kitchen in the cabinet. So I look behind me. It's my stepsister, bald as hell, looking crazy. So I'm just laughing, you know what I'm saying? She's going to get some hair, skin, and nail pills. And we used to laugh because like her hair wasn't growing. It was like, we was laughing at the fact that she was taking these damn pills and they wasn't working. Like, so we was just laughing. And we giggled. So she's like, what the fuck did she say? I don't know what y'all laughing at. Like, she got snappy. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we giggling like, girl, whatever, girl, get your ass on, like, hey, whatever. So we all laughing, me, my brother, and my stepbrother, we laughing. So the uncle comes in the house, because when the mom left, she had went and got the uncle, and she came back. So when she had came back, the uncle comes in the house, and he was like, yo, talking to my daddy. My daddy was asleep, so he kind of like jumped up. He was like, what's up? Oh, what's up? So he go and he was like, oh, what's up, man? What's up? What you doing? How you doing? Or whatever. My dad, like, he's real cool and calm. So he like introducing them to me and stuff, like, Daddy, you know this man here for a reason. Why you trying to act like you trying to introduce? He was like, you met my daughter? This is my daughter, Octavia. You met her? Tay, you met him before? Like, we getting introductions and stuff. Like, you know why he's here. So apparently he's supposed to be here to beat you up. I don't know why you out here introducing him. So when I see that the man walk up on my daddy, now I'm alerted, because it's like, all right, now you ain't finna touch my daddy either, because I'm gonna swing on you. I don't care who you are. Like, okay. So he was like, hey man, can I talk to you outside real quick? So my daddy like, yeah, cool, that's cool, yeah, we can talk outside or whatever. So he asked my daddy to step outside. So my daddy make his way outside, and I'm still rocking in the chair. And then all of a sudden my chair just stops, and I'm looking above me, and I can kind of see like, you could tell somebody's hair is in a ponytail, because you can kind of just like see the top of their head, but I can't really tell who it is, but I know it's her. So my chair kind of stops, and then I hear her in my ear, and she's like, yeah, so you thought you was gonna get away with telling me that you was gonna slap my child? You thought you was gonna get away with that shit? What did she say? She said, I told you I'll have a 15-year-old for you that's gonna beat your ass. I told you. So the whole time she's talking to me, I'm like, get out of my face. 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 I'm seeing Indian style crisscross on the chair. My brother is sitting right in front of me on the floor. So I'm like, get out of my face. Get out of my face. Like, I could just sense myself getting upset. I put my phone to the side. I put my phone down. I'm just like, my eyes is closed, and I'm just like, get out of my face. So she has 2 water bottles to my head like this. Like both of them are sitting on the sides of my head, and the chair ain't rocking no more. So she's talking her shit, and whatever she say, the last thing she say, she take one of the water bottles and she like mush me upside the head with it. Bets off. All bets off. No, we not doing that. I jump up so quick. My brother, my stepbrother is like, Dale, grab Tay. So he's telling him to grab me real quick, because the way that I jumped up quick, and I booked it around the couch. Like, my nigga, nah, because you definitely finna run me on one. For real, because you just mushed me in the head. So I come around the couch, and as soon as I make my way around the couch, I'm like, you fucking bitch. So I'm like about to swing on her. I jump up to kind of like swing, and she takes the 2 water bottles and tosses them around my brother's back. Like, cause he's holding on to her like a bear hug, walking her out the door. And she takes both of the water bottles and throws them behind his back, and both of them hoes come hit me in the chest. They like boom, boom, hit me in the chest, and they fall on the floor. So, I attempt to swing at her, and then my brother grabs me. He spins me around. Here comes her daughter coming down the stairs. She's like, don't call my mama a bitch. So as she's charging at me, now she's thicker than me. I'm realizing that my mom is saying, like, every time I get into a fight or whatever, my mom has always like just trained me up from a young girl. Like, she puts her weight against me. She tells me what to expect when a big chick is running at you, like, and things that I should do in order to make sure that they don't get the best of me, stuff like that. So, when she was running at me, all I could think of was a conversation that me and my mom had before, where she's like, if a girl is running at you that's bigger than you, it might seem intimidating, but you kick that hole in her stomach and then you proceed. So I'm like, okay. So she's running at me, and I like straight just kick her in the stomach, like, you not finna get me. So as she bends down to like kind of brace herself, because she didn't expect me to kick her, I just start swinging. I'm swinging. We fight, and my brother is in the middle of it. So her first hit connects with his eye. She gets him straight in the face. So I'm like, we fight, and I'm on top of her. We spin around the living room somehow. I end up on top of her, and I'm like, girl, I'm doing what the fuck I need to do. Like, I'm on top of her. I'm punching her in the face. I'm still punching her. I'm not grabbing no hair, because I'm not grabbing no hair. She didn't really have no damn hair. It was like nothing enough to grab. So I'm not grabbing no hair, and I don't fight like that. I don't reach for people's hair unless they reach for my hair. So I'm swinging. And here comes her mom. She flies back into the living room. She jumps on my back like a banshee, grabs, at the time I had really long curly hair, was in a ponytail. She like digs her hand into my ponytail, and she is like trying to yank my neck back off of her child, because I'm on top of her. So like, I'm doing like this, but still trying to like swing, but she's like yanking my hair. And then my dad runs in. He sees what's going on, so he's grabbing at her. So his force mixed with her force, so they both kind of like yanked me off of her, because she did not let me go. And when he pulls her, he's like trying to pull her off of me, but he's pulling both of us. So I finally get up. Everybody's able to get up off the floor. My daddy tells me, like, we all kind of stand up, and I feel like we started scuffling again. Me and my stepsister, we was going at it again, and then they finally break it up again, and then they send me up the steps. And the way that our steps were, it was like, go up, turn, up again, and then you'll end up in the upstairs. So my daddy was like, go upstairs. So he sends me up the first half of the steps. So me and my brother stand right there, and when I look at my brother, he was like flustered. He couldn't believe what happened. And he immediately just started crying. And I was like, don't cry, you know, and I'm trying to hold my tears, because now he's fucking crying. So, and I don't like seeing my family members hurt. So I'm just like, don't cry. I'm like, wipe that off. Don't cry. Like, nah, fuck that. Don't cry. Like, she asked for this. She been wanting it. She been wanting this all this time. Like, now she got what she's asking for. And I'm like, that's why I beat your ass. Like, I'm pissed. I'm like, just saying whatever at this point. 15 years old. This lady's 35. Her daughter is 14. So at this point, it's fair game. Y'all hoes on the street at this point. Like, there's nothing nobody can tell me. So I hear them downstairs, and mind you, my dad is the only dad that they know. My dad has taken on the responsibility of them since they were little, and they referenced him as dad anytime they spoke of him. So this day, she's like, you ain't my fucking daddy. You ain't my daddy. That's what my stepsister's saying, like real hurtful words to him. Like, you ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy. And he was like, well, get the fuck away from me then. And then you can hear them going at it. You can hear them arguing or whatever. So my brother makes me go upstairs again. He makes me go up the rest of the steps, and then he pushes me into the twins' room. room. The way that the house was set up when you get upstairs is as soon as you go up, turn up the steps again, the bathroom is in front of you. To the left is the twins room, but it's a long hallway to get to the twins room. To the left of that is the parents room. And then on the right hand side is 2 other rooms. It's the boys room. Oh, well, the boys room, and then Patty's room is over there. So when I go up, he makes me go into the twins room all the way down that long hallway. So when we get down the hallway, I see my daddy. He makes his way upstairs. He said, man, I'm finna call the fucking cops. Y'all need to get the fuck out. Like, I'm finna call the cops. So he goes to make his way to call the cops. And I see her and her uncle go in the room behind my daddy. So now I'm getting like upset because I'm like making sure that they're not going to do nothing to him because I don't trust these people. So I see, I can hear her daughter go into her room. Now, mind y'all, I told y'all at the beginning, I had laid my room out. I had laid out the room or whatever, put all my stuff in the room when I first got there because I was staying for 2 months. So she's taking all of my shoes and shit and she's throwing them into the hallway. She threw my suitcase out. She dumped all my clothes in the middle of the floor. Like, she threw all my stuff into the hallway, like all of it. And she was just launching them bitches one by one, just fucking up all my stuff. If you know me, you know that she irritated my soul because I put my things up nice and neat and she was just like throwing everything, like everything. She was just throwing it all on the floor. Pissed me off. So she's yelling, she's saying all types of shit, like she's cursing, she's just yelling, she's fussing. I'm in between emotions, like I'm laughing, my brother is like shaking his head, he out of breath, I'm kind of out of breath, but I'm like still with it, like I don't care, you know what I'm saying, like I'm still with whatever. My daddy is calling the cops on the phone and he's like, well, you need to take her and you need to get the fuck out of my house, you need to take her and y'all need to go, take her daughter and y'all get the fuck out of here. Like so that's what he's telling the uncle. So as she gets done throwing my shoes, she gets up and she makes her way to the room. But as she kind of like goes across the hallway, because you have to cross over the twins room hallway to get to my parents' room at the time. And she had to cross over the hallway. So the second she kind of like gets in the threshold to where I could see her hair is kind of just like sticking up. So I bust out laughing. Like it just was funny to me. So as I'm laughing, she gets like this burst of courage and she kind of like starts advancing towards me down the hallway. She was like, I'm tired of your fucking mouth. I'm tired of your fucking mouth. So she's like walking up on me. So as she walks up on me, I don't expect her to hit me, but she swings on me, dog. She swings on me, hits me straight in the face. Over with. We start fighting in the middle of the hallway. My dad has already picked up the phone to call the cops. And he already has the cops on the phone. Like, they're on speakerphone. And when he hears us fighting, they all rush into the room. Now, we're inside this little cramped hallway. And at this point, I'm just trying to swing because my brother is in the middle of us. He's like, Daddy, Daddy. Like, he's calling. My brother James completely disappeared. He got the heck on after he tried to stop it the first time. He didn't even come back. Like, it was too much for him. So my brother is in the middle. He's calling my dad. The uncle runs in and he tries to get in between me and Kaylin, because at this point, we're like fighting. And I'm like just swinging. I'm like reaching under. I'm trying to hit her underneath. I'm hitting on top. I'm like just swinging any which way I can swing. I'm swinging from the side. I noticed that the uncle had came in and he kind of jumped on it or whatever, and I can feel me cracking him on his bald head, like, and I'm just swinging because now you on top of her, so you're protecting her, so you get all the blows. So I'm hitting him, I'm swinging under. Her mom runs past me, and when she runs past me, I feel the wind like go past my head, and she digs into my ponytail again, and she's pulling my hair back again. So now I'm like still doing this again. I'm fighting, and she's like yanking my hair. I'm still swinging, and then they finally get me off and like break me up from her, and then I have to spin around. And now she has my hair. Since she had it like that, I was able to spin around and get it to where it was like this, and I was able to stick my foot into her belly and try to like pry my hair out of her hands, like, because at this point my head is down. I'm like trying to kick my way out. So I hear my daddy like try to get into her hand, like he takes one of her fingers and he bends it back. So I hear her saying, ow, ow. He was like, so you better let it the fuck go, I'm gonna break this motherfucker. And she finally let my hair go, and then they went, and the fight was broken up. And my brother was out of breath. At this point, I was out of breath. We was like, it was a lot going on. So the house just got quiet. So I'm trying to figure out what happened. And as I look out the window, the police are out there, several police cars, because they were already on their way after they heard the scuffle. When he wasn't able to finish his conversation, he came to break up a second fight. So we outside, and immediately when we get outside, y'all, she says that me and my brother were jumping her daughter and that my daddy hit her in the stomach and was fighting her, because immediately when I walked outside to my dad being put in cuffs and being put in the car. So I'm like panicking, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? And the police officer was like, well, we were just told that you and your brother jumped this young lady here, and then your father hit her in the stomach. I was like, that is a lie. If you can tell by the way that my shirt is ripped, like they both jumped me, and my brother was breaking it up and my dad was breaking it up, and they clearly he don't even belong here. Like, how did he even get here? They brought him over here in order to be able to facilitate a fight, and it didn't work out the way they thought it was going to work out, but they had already pre-planned this. So the police were starting to listen to me. I'm like, it's so many people out here. Nobody's ponytail holder is on the tip of their hair like mine. Like, this lady has been pulling my hair since this shit started. Like, the girl, my stepsister's in the car. She's cursing up a storm. They open the door and tell her to please be quiet. Like, hush your mouth. We don't want to hear anything else that you have to say. They listen to me. They take my daddy out of handcuffs. My stepbrother reappears from somewhere. He comes up the hill when he sees the cops. I guess he feels like the coast is clear. He comes back up the hill, and he's like, the uncle is like, so what's up? He's talking to my stepbrother. He's like, so you gonna go to foster care with them, or you gonna come with us? I said, foster care, nigga, I'm on vacation. This is a vacation for me. I got a home. I live in Atlanta. I don't live here. Ain't nobody going to foster care. So, please, out of here. So, and I'm like, and my daddy ain't going to jail because he didn't do nothing, because y'all came up here and y'all lied. You got beat up. Y'all lied. And it is what it is. Like, bye, like, get out of here. So, after all of that, the police end up leaving. My dad ended up leaving out that night and going to like Walmart or Home Depot or something. I don't know if anything was even open. I feel like it was too late for Home Depot. So he went to Walmart and he grabbed some new locks. He changed the locks immediately. And the next day we were at the courthouse, and that is when the process started for him to file for a restraining order for her. And he was going to press charges on her for putting her hands on me. And he wanted to get custody of his daughters. And at first it was a very nasty thing. She had started to lie and say that my dad was sexually assaulting us. And she coerced her child to lie, my stepsister to lie and say that he had did it, but then she recanted her statement. And, the judge saw through it, and the judge saw that she was very abusive, and they were able to take witness statements from a lot of other people that were in our family that had witnessed it for years and years, and no one has ever said anything about it. No one had ever fought back. Nothing ever happened. She was just getting away with it time and time again. And there were so many witness statements and so many people that had stood by and watched it happen for years and never did anything about it. And it was that was their time to be able to speak up. So all in all, my daddy ended up winning custody of the girls, full custody of them. And that's why he was raising them. And that's why he was so it was like a real weird thing, and that's why I really couldn't discipline them the way that they needed to be disciplined when I came out for high school. And for a long time they resented me. They didn't understand why things were the way that they were. They didn't understand that their mom played a really big role in why the situation went sour, and that had she just been more accepting and more loving to kids that did not belong to her, that we wouldn't be in this situation. But time and time again, I end up being in a situation where it's like I have to put my foot down, and because no one's going to take up for themselves, I'm the one that's taking up for everybody. Like, no, you ain't gonna do that. And no, you can't just hit my brother in the head with a can opener and think you're gonna get away with it. If nothing is done right now, something will be done about it. And that was my way of standing my ground. Like, no way, I'm not the same kid anymore. You expected me to be the same kid, but I'm not the same child. I am nowhere near that child anymore, and I don't regret anything that I did. And if I ever have to take up for my family in a similar situation, I would do it again. I would try my damnedest to be able to handle it differently. But if it got to the point where it got ugly like that, I would do it again, because I'm not afraid of anybody. So it's like, no, you don't get to do that. You were very abusive. You still are abusive to this day. And I believe it's a mental illness. I really do. I think it's something mentally not right with her. And for that she ends up lonely every time. Like, she just doesn't understand it, and she will never understand it because she can't accept it. She feels like it's everybody else and it's not her. And it's like, no, I'm very wise beyond my years, and I've always been like that. And yeah, I was just tired of it. And I wasn't letting it happen another day, not under my watch, not while I'm there and I could protect my brother. Nope. And because my daddy won't do anything about it, I'm the next runner up. I gotta try. So, and that's what I did. And they haven't been together since. That was the very last day that they were together. And that was the last straw. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for my dad. And actually deciding that, yeah, enough was enough. I'm not doing this anymore. Because like he said, she loves with conditions. And when he married her, he married her and they vowed to love each other unconditionally. And she loves with conditions. And that's not the type of relationship that he wanted to be a part of. So it sucks to suck, but yeah, it was a learning lesson and it is what it is. So yeah, guys, that is what happened between my stepmother and my stepsister and why that situation is the way that it is. Currently today, I do not have a relationship with my stepmother. We still don't like each other and it's never going to change. She doesn't feel like she owes me an apology. I damn sure don't owe her one. So, yeah, it's just never going to change. Like, we've been in the same room with each other after that happened, probably like a handful of times, maybe like 5 times. The most recent time was my little sister's graduation. They graduated from high school and I went out there to visit them. I brought my children with me. So I'm an adult now. I have children. It's a different look. You know, she's not used to that. She was used to the little girl me that fought her, you know, and being disrespectful and not knowing my place and all this kind of stuff. And it's different now. I have my own children. And yeah, she don't have no relationship with them. She don't need to. They don't need to know you. They don't need to know anything. You don't feel like you did anything wrong, and I don't feel like I did anything wrong, and we could just keep it pushing. For a while, I was just like, you know, maybe me and her could have a conversation and get past it, but it's like, for what? For what? I don't owe you no conversation. I don't have to talk to you. You're not making or breaking my day or changing anything in my life. Only reason I would even be talking to you would be on behalf of my sisters, just to make some sort of like, so that it's not so awkward. But no, she's the evil person and she don't understand it, and I don't know what it'll take. Hopefully she finds out or tries to change it before it's too late. But yeah, I don't know. It's not my problem. So yeah, there's that. That is my situation. So that is story time number 2 for the books. So you guys are getting a more in-depth look to who I am. And if that don't show you that I don't take no BS, then I don't know what will. There are more story times to come. The very next one, since I'm going in chronological order based upon when they happen, and then we're gonna end off with my kid's dad and that shit show. Yeah, my next story time is gonna be my high school blow up situation, because that was different, y'all. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. If you watched this far, thank you so much for watching this video. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, and check out my last 2 story times on why I became an exotic dancer. That was a question that I had gotten so many times, so I felt like I should answer it. But since story times, you guys like how I tell stories and you can kind of actually picture it through my eyes, why not make it a thing? So yeah, we're just gonna back it up in order to move forward so we can grow together. But thank you guys. Thank you, cousins. It's been real.